They say in heaven, love comes first. We'll make heaven a place on earth. New heaven is a place on
earth. Hi everybody, welcome to Christian Homestead. My name is Jared, and one more time, Happy New Year's. I think about my channel a lot, and today is New Year's Day, and I was thinking I should have a New Year's resolution for the channel. I want this channel to do the most good that it possibly can, and I've always felt this way about it. I never thought in my wildest dreams that it would come this far, and so I want to present a New Year's resolution for the channel, something that we've done before, but I want to take it further. So this month is actually my 4.5 year mark. And up until this point, I've made 2.7 thousand videos. We've been talking about the number 27 a lot lately. 2.7 thousand videos. I'm at 43,500 subscribers. If you click on more, you get some other metrics that are public facing. You have the total number of views down here. It's about to be at 16.7 million views across the whole history of my channel. And it's a lot. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of people listening. It's a lot of time spent watching my videos, amazingly, and to my surprise. In my analytics, I pulled up the total number of watch hours, and I put it here on Grok so you could see it, because if I pull up the calculator, with the program that I'm using to record this, it won't show the calculator. So I'm at 3.3 million hours of watch time. So if you took everybody's individual watch sessions and put them all together, that's how many hours it would be, which equates to about 380 years of Christian Homestead. And down here it says, so roughly 380 years and about 15 days extra. So I need to be doing something with all this time that people are consuming my content. And, you know, this is primarily a Second Coming channel. That's how it started out. I just had some thoughts about the Second Coming I didn't hear anybody talking about. And I had to get it out so that people could benefit from it. And then it just took off. And since that time, we've been diving into scripture and the words of modern day prophets, looking at prophecy, thinking about all aspects of the Second Coming, but also looking at church news and looking at other parts of the gospel other than the Second Coming, and doctrines that have to do with, you know, finances and the temple and things like that. So that's good. I think people have benefited from this content in various ways. You guys let me know all the time. You put it in the comments and you send me emails, and I thank you for the feedback. But it's got to be more, because there's more that's possible than just talking about these things. And so pretty early on, I put out the offer for potential female content creators to start a channel, because I saw the amount of good that this can do for those that are willing to create positive content and give you an alternative to just, you know, brainless entertainment or anti-church channels or whatever. And President Nelson said that the women of right now are the women that President Kimball foresaw in his prophecy, where he prophesied that the women of today would bring in large numbers of people into the church. And I was like, okay, I should help support that. If these are the women right now, let's go ahead and support them. So I did one round of interviews. The one channel that went the furthest is Jen Stevens with Christian Fire Poppy. She actually was just going to do a blog. When I interviewed her, she was just going to do a blog. But then she made the leap to YouTube, and it's been scary for her. It's hard for her to put herself out there, but she's doing such a good job, and she's come so far. She has a lot of other things going on. That's the thing with female content creators, is they have families, they have children, they have a lot of stuff going on, a lot of responsibilities. But she has stepped up and she's done it, and so have others from that group, but she's just the one that's gone the furthest. And then I did a second round, which resulted in the next gen, which was Caitlin, with Anticipating Christ's Return. And she's growing basically at the same rate that I did when I started. So she has a very healthy channel. It's coming along. It's all organic growth. She's not paying for promotions or paying for fake subscribers or fake views and stuff like that. She's doing amazing. And then more recently, I haven't done a third round of interviews. I'm probably not going to do that. I was playing around with that idea, but it's too much. But I do have a fan that's been with me since the very beginning, and she decided to create her own channel, and I've shouted her out, including right now in this video. Her name is Cabria White in Arizona. She just started this just before General Conference, and she is doing really good. She's putting out a video a day. So that's basically what I'm looking for when it comes to any channel that's going to really go the distance. It doesn't have to be that way, but if you're doing a video a day, that's basically almost a guarantee for success on this platform. You also have to have good content and value behind your content, and she does. And so she's growing. She talks about church things, but she's mainly focused on the second coming, just like me and Jen and Kaylin. And then, I branched out. I created a second channel. I realized, okay, well, I guess I'm a YouTuber. So now that I live in Missouri, I should take this opportunity to bring Missouri and Illinois and Iowa and Nebraska, all these church sites, I should bring them to you, especially for those of you that live outside the country or just will never be able to come and see these sites. And it's kind of slowed down a little bit recently, but I'm going to pick back up. I've already done 152 videos, which kind of blows me away. And it includes church sites, as well as special events, as well as temples. It's not just all historic church sites, but it's active church sites like temples. And we've witnessed a lot. So please subscribe to this channel, subscribe to Jen and Caitlin and Cabria. But there's more. A while ago, and I'm glad that I still have this tab on my spreadsheet. A while ago, I did what I called the hashtag Flood the Earth Challenge. And this is what we're going to focus on in this video. This is why I'm making this video. I wanted to somehow encourage all of us, including myself, to share copies of the Book of Mormon that we otherwise would not share, to tap into untapped potential. That's the point of doing challenges like this, is to get you to do something that you that you otherwise would not do, or to go further than you would otherwise go. And so we had the goal of getting to 10,000 copies of the Book of Mormon shared. Over here on the left, you can see the list of participants. If we go back up to the top and then scroll over, we ended up having 1,212 participants in this challenge, and we reached the goal of 10,000 copies of the Book of Mormon shared. Beyond that, and this surprised me when I got the first reports, beyond that, people reported that these people that they were giving copies of the Book of Mormon to were actually meeting with the missionaries. And then after that, we started getting reports of people getting baptized. So we had a total of 177 reports of meeting with the missionaries, 53 people that got baptized, and one account of one of those people going so far as to go to the temple to receive their own endowments and be sealed. So, we did this from, you can see it right here in column Y. We started this in December of 2022 and then ended it in September of 2024. That was a very busy time for me, and tracking everybody's comments and emails and everything, it got to be too much. And I felt like, okay, mission accomplished. I don't need to do this forever, but here we are, and I've decided, I've had some time to rest. I've made another YouTube channel in the meantime and done other things. And now I'm all rested up and I'm ready to do this again. So, we're going to change it a little bit. I used to ask you to put #flood in the comment or email that you would send me. At this point, I'm not going to accept any emails to report sharing copies of the Book of Mormon. I'm going to keep it strictly to comments because I can easily filter comments in my YouTube studio. And so this is how it goes. If you share a copy of the Book of Mormon in the comments of any video, it doesn't matter if it was my very first video that I made, it'll still show up because I can search for it. I created a new spreadsheet. I haven't cleared out all the participants and the numbers. I'll do that once this gets going. But instead of #flood, we're going to do this. We're going to do #BOM. If you share a copy of the Book of Mormon, just put #BOM and the number of copies that you shared. If they meet with the missionaries, then do #missionaries. If they get baptized, do #baptism. If they get their endowments, do #endowment. And if they get sealed, then do #sealing. Please do not send me emails or don't send it on Instagram or Facebook. Don't do any direct messages. For those of you that have my phone number, which is a very small number of people, please don't text it to me. Only in the comments section. It makes it so I can do this without burning out. Because when you scour through all these different places, it gets really hard and burdensome, and and that's partially what made me burn out the last time. The other thing, I tried to keep track of how you shared the Book of Mormon, whether it was a physical copy. Some people mailed copies of the Book of Mormon. Some people texted or emailed or used social media. Probably the easiest way to share the Book of Mormon is go to your gospel library app and then go to scriptures. And then at the top, you'll see a share button for the Book of Mormon app. This is the easiest way to do this. So that's what I would recommend. Of course, if you're in a situation where you can give a physical copy of the Book of Mormon, that's probably better because it's more tangible, but it depends on every individual person, of course. But this was another reason why I wanted to do this, because if I remember right, Elder Razband, he gave a talk. I can't remember what it was called, but he talked about flooding the earth with the Book of Mormon using the Book of Mormon app. We're able to do things now that we weren't able to do before. If you went back to 1999, there was no Book of Mormon app. The best that you could do back then was either give somebody a physical copy, or I guess the church website was probably in operation at that time, and you could take the URL of that part of the church website and email it to somebody. Conceivably, you could have texted it to somebody, but they'd have to copy it and then paste. No, they'd have to back then. Geez. Yeah, you'd have to write it down and then type it in manually into your browser. So we've been given a super ability, a superpower in sharing the Book of Mormon. There's a lot of potential because now it is so easy to do it. So we should take advantage of it. So you don't need to tell me if it was a physical copy. You don't need to tell me if it was on social media or text. I'm just going to do a raw number. That's another thing that's going to simplify this for me. And then remember, please treat this the same way that you would a ward goal. You know how wards typically have goals of like going to the temple. You know, they'll have a goal of like performing, you know, X number of ordinances by the end of the month or by the end of the year. So in your ward, you wouldn't report that your nephew from Colorado or some other state got baptized because they're not part of your ward. It doesn't make any sense. And that's the same thing here. So if you have somebody, you know, that would have gotten baptized otherwise, it's not because of this challenge. That's not what we're tracking. That's really good that that happened, but this is it's like a ward challenge. It's meant to have you do something that would not otherwise happen. So if your niece or nephew or grandson or whatever, if they were going to get baptized anyway, it doesn't really make sense to add it to this challenge. We're trying to get you to do things that would not otherwise happen by you doing something that you otherwise would not do. Does that make sense? If you have been sharing, you know, a Book of Mormon a day since 1984, don't include that number. Again, in your ward, you would not report to your bishop that you went to the temple once a week since 1984, because in the ward challenge, you're just looking at that 1 month or you're looking at that 1 year. And so it's the same thing here. So please just like, hopefully that makes sense. That's one reason why these numbers are probably not that accurate. Not that they have to be. I'm not doing a study or anything like that. But for one thing, I didn't capture everybody's comments or emails or direct messages. So in one sense, this number could be low, but in another sense, it may be too high because some people reported stuff that really didn't belong to this challenge. They were just reporting things that would have happened anyway. And I'm not trying to track those things. Let me think if there were any other things. Right here under daily, this is just basically each time that I updated it, I put the date that I updated it, and then the numbers as of that update, and then it was just like an ongoing thing, an ongoing register. But the master numbers for the entire challenge are here at the top left. And then I created another portion for monthly, so we could track it by month, and then yearly. So we'll do the same thing this time. And for right now, let's just shoot for 10,000. 10,000 copies of the Book of Mormon shared. And yeah. Again, this channel cannot just be mindless entertainment. It can't just be, you know, just for whatever. There's a lot of good that can come out of this, and I want to tap into every type of good that can come out of this. And this is kind of a big one. You know, when I got home from my mission, I was all gung-ho about being a member missionary because I was like, okay, I can do it more kind of like more genuinely or less of a threat because I won't be wearing a shirt and a tie. I'll just be a regular person. It'll be easier to strike up conversations with people. And on top of that, I'm now back in the United States and I can speak in my mother tongue and express myself exactly how I want to express myself. And I've tried, but I've been very kind of disappointed in my efforts, and that's something that I still need to turn around. I'm still trying to look for those opportunities to share the gospel. But this helps me feel better. Being able to facilitate a challenge like this and participate in it myself, which I plan on doing. You know, I just keep thinking, I think about just recently President Holland during the funeral. one of them shared the story that, like, I think it was when he was hospitalized the first time. He wanted some juice. He was not in the best condition. And so, like, I think the nurse went in there, gave him some juice. And then she came out and she was visibly changed. I don't know if she was crying or what was said, but the person asked, like, what happened in there? And in short, what happened was, I guess the nurse and President Holland had a spiritual conversation, and now she decided that she wanted to go back to church. I want to have that effect on, I want to have that effect on people. I want to bring people into the fold, onto the covenant path. And so I'm going to keep trying in my personal life, but since I have this channel, I want to do this too, because it yielded results. It yielded results. It brought 53 people into the church. So, how can I not do it? How can I not? So we're going to do it. So let's shoot for 10,000. And then once we get to that point, we'll recalibrate and figure out what we want to do after that. But I'm going to start this back up. So anyway, that's going to be for this one. Happy New Year. Please make this your New Year's resolution too. Please join me and let's do some good and bring more people into the church before the second coming and help prepare the church and the world for the second coming. Let's be a warning voice via the Book of Mormon in sharing our testimonies. And let's focus on gathering scattered Israel. All right, that's going to be for this one. I'll talk to you guys later.